Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Formula Studio Grand Prix. We're back after a 2-week break due to the Russian Grand Prix getting suspended over political reasons, but that doesn't matter because we're here on circuit with a circuit that's debuting for the first time in the Formula Series Grand Prix history, and that is the street circuit in Marina Bay, more specifically the Singapore Grand Prix, a circuit which has become a cult legend since it was last introduced in 2007, 2008 I should say, with the victory of Fernando Alonso, that lap from Lewis Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel's victory in 2019. And it's lovely to be here, isn't it?
It is great. It has been very warm, but otherwise the weather is amazing.
Let's not ignore that it has been raining. We did get soaked a little bit.
Oh yeah, sorry, I have to go quickly. Then if you could fill, whilst I quickly swap the stream to being on track.
As long as it's screen share. But yeah, it's lovely to be here, for sure. And yeah, it's gonna be lovely. But unfortunately, we had some technical issues, so we're starting the stream right now in qualifying as. Oh, I can see only a black screen, which is not good. It seems like the broadcasters here at Singapore are not doing their job. There we go! There we go! Now the broadcaster finally figured out what camera angle to use, and we're both here with Fulvio Phoenix. Actually, we started on time. 5 minutes of free practice left. So I thought they were going to go straight into qualifying due to delays, but they didn't. But it's nice that we're here, at least, with 5 minutes left to go in practice, which gives us, I think, enough time to go into a championship rundown while the practice session finishes.
Yes, if we quickly go back to the championship standings, we have Fulvio Phoenix leading the championship on 306 points. Second place is Jason Milanov with 282 points, and third place is Goose van Dormelen with 268 points. So it's still all quite close. Could be anyone's game for the top three. While fourth you have Juan Grammage on 99 points. So I think it's just a fight for the top three, with there being over 100 points between third and fourth. In fifth we have Samuel Ivanov with 96 points. In sixth we have Brendan Pierce with 92 points. In seventh we have Cadillac Crafter with 89 points. In eighth we have Antonio Correa with 80 points. Ninth is Lozzi with 70 points, and finally in 10th is Rafael Oliveira with 57 points. So it's all quite close for P4.
Yep, for sure it's quite close, but of course what really matters out there is just being consistent out there in the circuit. Make sure you're putting the best laps every single time you go, and I can already see in the chat some hype for Brendan in P6. Probably gonna take the P4 after this race, you would assume, and because we're having a no-show from Juan and Samuel and Cadillac, who is only his real competitor, which by the way right now Cadillac in fourth. By the way, 14 drivers racing tonight. That's been a record for a very long time, isn't it?
It's a lot of drivers on track, especially with how small the track is and how fast and sort of pointy the cars can be.
With 23 corners around this circuit, 11 braking zones, you know, it's quite tricky. But I think the circuit is big enough to be able to separate 14 cars, because it was built in mind for 24 cars. So.
Well, we'll see, because if we go back to the action, we have Fulvio Phoenix still with the fastest lap in practice with 3 minutes to go. It is 6:15 in the evening. You have Goose van Dormelen in second place, 7/10 off of Phoenix, and in third place we have Jason Milanov with 1.3 seconds to Phoenix's 56.801.
at this point that there was a regulation change going to the final race of the season here. DRS has been completely removed from the cars. Now it's a pure power, which now has increased to 121 brake horsepower. So it's just horsepower from now on. No more playing with the DRS. So the drivers can just go flat out every single time through the corners. And I'm not sure if that's a good, but it's just there was Thomas Kane crashes into the barrier, and he is off to the medical center to get checked up. And yeah, it's gonna hopefully produce some good racing, because Jason only 2/10 off Fulvio Phoenix right now. He's the dominant in P3, the guitarist nowadays in the pits. Jason goes purple, 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 purple. Isaac with a spin, and now Jason goes for the old Singapore sling, and he just pulls over for some reason. Maybe track invalidation, maybe.
We ride on board with Fulvio Phoenix, who set a purple first sector, but then went 3/10 slower in the second sector. Let's see if he can find it in this third sector to set a fast lap. Because with these cars, compared to most racing cars, you'll see, because of how small the fuel tanks are, the difference between race and quali pace is not very much. Sometimes you might even see drivers going faster in the race than they did in quali, just because they prefer the weight sort of keeping the car down a little bit, because sometimes the car could be too light.
The cars have a 6-liter fuel tank, but they have such little.
I think it's 7 litre now.
Is it 7 liters? I think.
I thought it was 6 litres for MF3T or
old
something.
gen.
And it's changed going into these cars. Oh, Nassim was on a good lap.
The Somalian flick there from the scene using the barrier, but it was not enough to recover him to continue his lap. You have Lozzy, a driver who was very good at the old gen, but he's not quite used to the new gen car for sure. He will be looking to do a very good job.
As we see coming under the grandstand there, coming through in 20 and 21, or 22 and 23 there, to finish a lap as Goose is stopped on pit entry, as we now go watch Brendan Pierce, who's already finished the session, as we have not been paying attention to time because everything's going so fast. There is Brendan Pierce, which seems to be a chat favourite for today.
Yeah, Brendan Pierce, I think we'll be looking to solidify that best the rest on the grid here, I think.
As he hits the wall a little bit, as we're just waiting for Thomas Kane to finish his lap. Oh, just taps the wall there and finishes the lap. Let's check the amount of fuel. Yeah, 7 litres for the new car.
Yeah, 7 liters for the new car, but I think the new car revs a little bit higher, so.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that one. Bigger rev, bigger power. As we come out of practice there, going into qualifying, we have Fulvio Phoenix, the only driver to break it into the 56 second mark. In second place is Jason Milanov with a 57.0, only 0.2 off. And third place we have Goose van Dommelen with a 57.565, only 0.7.
Yeah, only 7 tenths off, so As now we head into qualifying. And then Cadillac Raptor is first out there on circuit.
And then we have Good Van Dommelen and Fulvio Phoenix. Phoenix having quite a good gap to the drivers ahead. As long as they don't make a mistake, he should be good to set a fast lap. But Lozzie just behind him. Are they a bit too close?
Those Cadillac Raptor is preparing to go on his lap, passing the Addison Bridge. And he's on his merry way to the damp section in real life, the dry section in the game of Singapore today. Right now, going through his qualifying lap attempt into turn 1 now. Just jump the car in 5th gear, just make sure you do a very good job. Slowing it down very quickly and then accelerating out of this corner as he backs out. I think it might have been a track co-work.
As we're now watching on board with Goose Van Dommelen as he has Phoenix right behind him, who might be catching him actually, and he might want to abort the lap as Phoenix might go for a move, or Phoenix might abort the lap.
And what I would say is, but Goose Van Dommelen is actually holding up some, but on a qualifying lap. Look at how precise.
Oh, there's a little bit of a tap there.
I think that might have been lag, personally.
Oh, might have been a little. They got very close there, and Phoenix had aborted his lap.
Yeah, for sure they got close, but I think it was more.
As Phoenix through the final 2 corners, crosses the line and sets a 57.615. And Lozzie in second is 3 seconds off. Oh no, yes, 2 seconds off almost. As Eric Neath goes into second place, a driver we haven't seen much of or ever. Not sure.
Yeah, I've never really heard much about this Eric Neath. I was just doing a very neat job. This one. Yeah, he's on his merry way to getting a solid qualifying position right now.
Lozzie and Olivia. There's a driver spun there as we watch on board with the organizer of these races, Diego.
Yeah, Diego, the founder of the Steer Country, has finally decided to take up a race, which is very, very nice of him. And yeah, and it's lovely to be here. It's lovely for him to be here for Singapore. It's a very special circuit. Like, when you mention naming an F1 circuit to a fan, they don't really go Singapore, but it's always like the 5th or 6th choice, I think. Because it's just the first night race, the most scenic, one of the most scenic Grand Prix out there. Yeah. You can't say it. It's a very good Grand Prix in terms of also historic wise. I mean, passive battle in 2019 is his last victory as of this year.
Diego go
right
into
now.
6th place and spin.
Oh, Spinalla! And there won't be any Cakes Grande Magics for Diego after that one. As there's another guy who won't be getting a Cakes Grande Magic from Thomas Kinder with a very, very poor mistake, I must say. So yeah, we're looking very, very interesting in terms of qualifying right now. It's actually looking very, very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite was it Jason hasn't set a representative lap time yet actually, which is quite surprising to see. And I've just noticed the gap between Goose and Phoenix is less than half a tenth. So that just shows the perfection these drivers are at, that they were within less than a tenth, unless I saw it wrong. Jason. Oh, Jason is... Oh, my. Jason has spun and he is in the air.
And that would be very upsetting for Jason Milano, for sure.
The way the tyres were working there was rather interesting. Tyres staying firmly on the ground while the body of the car was going to see Elon Musk and Mars.
Seems like
Ooh, contact there.
Whoa! Big collision
Between
for Jason again.
Jason and I'm not sure who the other driver was, but Jason stuck upside down. Hopefully
With 2 minutes left
the
of
driver was
qualifying,
safe
won't
there.
he even get a lap in?
Lots of drivers actually. Still about 4 or 5 drivers haven't got a fully representative lap time in. With Michael Horko being 4 minutes and 5 seconds off of the pace of Phoenix, while Jason still being 18 seconds off of the pace. Hopefully he can find some space without traffic to set a lap time, or he can just set a banker and stay behind maybe a slower driver just to get a lap done. Oh, as he jumps the curb there.
He comes over to get the overtake. I respect the shithousery from Jason Plato there. I do have to say, I respect it a lot. Cutting over the chicane past a slower driver. I don't think Charlie will appreciate that one, but
Neither will his back. Neither will Jason's back, but in the world of online racing, the sosh curbs like that will not physically affect you as much, but the car could still be sent by them. And with how janky physics in these games can be, it can be a lot worse than... It can look a lot worse than it is in real life. Well, real life it is a lot worse.
yeah.
FAA removes sausage curbs.
I mean, I agree. Still with you on that one. I think they should.
Because I think, like, very recently we've seen a lot of instances where they've been bad. So Britain in Formula 2 and Imola, there was an endurance race at Monza.
This year.
And an Aston Martin lost it and got sent onto the roof.
Yep.
Anyway, through the final sector, through 22 and 23, Jason crosses the line to start that. Nope, he goes into 3rd position, pushing Cadillac Crafter down. Goose van Dormelen is stopped on track and he will not be setting another lap this session. Jason may be pushing for one more flying lap.
It looks like it for sure that he will be pushing, but
Nassim
he's pretty much equal.
will
He's
not
pretty much
be
equal
setting
with the sector
a lap.
1.
Nassim will
In
not
fact,
be
he's
setting
looking
a
for
lap.
2nd place here.
But-
He isn't asking for much.
Always there's a car spinning
Oh,
just
that
in
was
front of
Cadillac
him.
actually.
Ah, it was Cadillac in P4. Yeah, Jason being very close to Goose's time. Only sort of 3,000ths between them so
Yeah,
far.
there you go. He's setting a personal best sector too, so he's on track early for a 2nd place. Let's see into the final section.
Ooh,
That's a
taps
little
the
bit of a
wall
wall
a
tap,
little
but
bit.
it seems to settle the car just fine. Let's see over the line. I think it'll be 2nd place. Will it?
No.
He lost big time in sector 3.
As you can see, 3 drivers not setting a lap time at the end of that session. But
Yep.
as we finish qualifying, we actually haven't beaten the time set in practice. We are a little bit off that, but it seems...
I mean, this circuit is quite long, so you have less opportunities to set lap times.
Yeah. So we have Fulvio Phoenix on pole position with a 57.174. In P2, we have Goose van Dormelen with a 57.637. And very close behind him, only 3,000th between them, is Jason Milanov with a 57.667. So it's a very close top 3 as we go into this race. We have the drivers that did not set a lap time, being Nassim, which was a surprise because he was on for quite good pace actually there. Nassim was on for good pace.
I think that some of the drivers may not qualify due to the turn 1 effect, as I like to call it. This circuit here, so.
So anyway, on to the race now. We have around 30 seconds until the lights turn on. And then, who are you looking forward to watching in this race?
Nassim coming from the back, because he gets so flustered going for the back. But it was his. But I think his strategy is don't qualify because you get taken out of turn. Start from the back and ease it off. I will enjoy his route of the ladder. But anyway, the lights are coming on. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights, and it's go here for the Grand Prix of FSGP Grand Prix. It's going to one. They probably face this link. The distance goes to Carriage Mouse and Pala. Let's make it power to Jason. Goes for double Jason Malal of Cadillac Crafting P4. The rookie in the series coming in P5, both qualifying some veterans here in the series, and it looks like it was a pretty clean turn 1. And the team is ready up to P8, battling with Diego Rosado. You better go no near him because he'll give you a 5-second time penalty. It's ready to go past him. Diego. I'm not sure if there was contact or not, but he is spun.
And Cadillac Craft. Oh, that's Jason. Jason has spun. Jason has spun. The second place in the World Drivers' Championship, fighting. Oh god, big crash at the back.
Oliveira was involved in that.
And the front two have already pulled.
Into the lead.
The front two have already pulled 2 seconds from the rest of the pack. As Cadillac Crafter is looking to make a move. Oof, it was very close. Oh, then you're going a bit there, but that was very close there between Lozzy or Cadillac Crafter and Eric Neath. Oh, there's a crash! Lozzy is in the wall! Lozzy is in the wall.
Might have been a punt. I think that might have been a punt.
But Nassim, from the back, has made it into P4, but tapped the wall a bit there and lost a position into P5. Tapped the wall a little bit, he completely sent it.
He is lagging around the circuit.
Spin or lag, he's round. And now Brendan Pierce is up into P5.
And the chat is going absolutely ballistic because as of for now, I think Brendan Pierce will take the best of the rest honors for after this results down rank.
As Nassim is close to the back of Nilsson there. Ooh, very close between them two there. As we ride very on board with Nassim. We watch on the rear fin of Isaac Nilsson.
Yep, we are currently watching him, and he seems to be keeping the seam at bay for sure. The Swede against the guy that against a driver who formerly represented Sweden. Yeah, he's doing a very good defensive job against him.
He's doing a very good job at this track today.
For sure, he seems to be doing
we have
very good job.
What looks like an 8-kilometer headwind down into turn 1 for this race.
So is that good or bad?
That would be good going into turn 1, but bad going in. Oh, there's a collision there!
Don't punt!
Nassim is also off. Nassim is a little bit wide, and oh, is that his? Nassim is lagging a bit there because other drivers seem to be fine.
And Diego seems to be having involved in it as well.
Yeah, Nassim. I think the red bar next to his name is showing the ping that is quite high compared to most drivers.
Yep.
So Nassim's struggling through the walls a little bit there. But anyway, as we watch Lozzy, who is sort of at the front of a small train here, as Jason Milanov is in the wall again, and he causes a collision with Antonio Correa, he just sort of spun and was on the racing lines of four car pile up there, and Nassim seemed to have gained the most there out of all the drivers as Cadillac Crafter gets past Eric Neath, but they are now almost side by side it through turn 6 down to turn 7. Anyway, as I was saying about the headwind to turn 1, where it will be good into turn 1 because you have a lot more grip because the car will be pushed down, but into somewhere like was this turn 10, turn 11 where we're going now, it will be very bad because it will be pushing you into the corner, which is just trying to lift the car.
Thank you very much for the information. There's a beautiful scrap for third place between the rookie of Neve and Cadillac Crafter as they're going.
A little bit of a tap there, and Cadillac is round. And Brendan Pierce takes third place.
Come on, guys. And Brendan Pierce, the
American.
The Michael Jordan of Formula Student Grand Prix is in third place.
As we keep an eye on this scrap, because it's actually very good to watch. Always Jason having a bit of a struggle as we watch his race. Nassim.
Well, Jason said he did 400 laps and still struggled
and
to understand the circuit, so that tells you about the
another 22 laps might hurt him. As he's very close. Ooh, surprisingly, race lap times are a bit down on the practice and quali laps at this track. Maybe it's just a different mindset, or maybe it's the track temp, because I think the track is about 2 or 3 degrees higher and the air temp's about a degree or 2 higher. So maybe it's just the track's a bit too hot and the tyres are too warm and they're just sliding around a little bit. As Phoenix sets a 1:57.0, new fastest lap of the race.
Yep, and he is doing a fine job. I think Phoenix is doing a very, very fine job.
Jason now just has to close the
who isn't doing a fine job is Jason Milano, if you have to say.
Yeah, I think it was... I'm not sure. You could say it's the tyre temps being high from the track temps and then struggling a bit more to maybe keep the temps down because he on keyboard and mouse, I think. Our keyboard warrior as Nassim is round again. Or just Nassim seems to be struggling this race, either with his internet or whatever it is. As you can see, there is a big gap between Neath and Lozzie, while if we look on the rear fin of Cadillac, you can see Neath is right there.
Yep. He seems to be doing a fine job indeed.
As we watch the suspension of Cadillac Craft there, you can see very close ahead of us, just behind the tyre. If I move us a little bit, yeah, you can see us a little bit better, as you can also see the steering inputs from the driver. See, Cadillac Crafter is not too much further ahead.
Yep, for sure, it doesn't seem like it.
Well, Nassim is getting quite close to Oliveira as we cut away from that battle.
As we have Rafael Oliveira, my favorite midfield driver. This time it's not battling with Tony Crab, but Diego sends it down the inside into the Addison Bridge and gets the move done. And he's up to a points bank. This was already up to a points position, but now he's even more. But that was Nassim, wasn't it?
That was Nassim. Diego is in P9 at the minute.
You have to excuse me that one. Folks in the chat, as we're already on lap 9 out of 22. This will be again an endurance race. You have to say 22 laps, I think, around here. A minute lap time each. You're getting basically 22 minutes worth of action here. But it definitely feels different in the cockpit, I think.
Yeah.
The driver feeling very fatigued after this race.
Yeah, I'd say
Was at one point up to P5,
Ooh,
now struggling.
lot of
in P10.
sausage curve there may have thrown him up a little bit as we go to the off-board shot. As we look at the leader of our race quickly, Fulvio Phoenix has spun! Fulvio Phoenix has spun and has lost the race lead!
It's what happened in the leads. That is a plot twist and a half into this Grand Prix.
Race director's curse. Just as we swap to watching Fulvio Phoenix, he is around just on the bridge actually, and now he has a big gap to make up. There is almost 6 seconds there. We quickly watch Jason Milanov, who is chasing down Isaac Nilsson there.
Wow, this is...
Ooh, he looks around the outside. Isaac leaves some space, but he can't quite get it done. As now, under the grandstand we go, into turn 19, 20 and 21 to 22. 20, how many corners does this track got? 23, isn't it?
23, yep. I said it earlier, 11 braking zone.
Oh, collision there.
Jason
As
with the damn
Isaac is
unhard
round.
fun to pass strategy, clearly.
It's what P2P stands for. It's not push to pass, it's punt to pass.
I would say it's poor driving, but I live for this stuff, so I won't make any comments.
No, it is 23. My mistake. For some reason I thought it was 22.
23. Which corner did you miss?
All of them.
But Jason...
Probably turn 6.
Who key when they P5 this race at this rate?
Ooh.
Ooh, that back marker there.
No, that's Lozzie. That's the driver he is racing with.
Oh, I think he must have made a mistake then, but Lozzie and Jason are having an absolute ding-dong battle here. Lozzie trying to keep Jason Milano behind him. This is it.
Cadillac Crafter makes a move into turn 3.
Now Brendan Pierce, the stream will be absolutely through that one, but they're going the slipstream showing to the one. Is he gonna make a collision with him again? She tries not to go down the inside, but Lozzie runs one a little bit wide, and the Jason has forced him into a mistake. It is
Oh no,
Lozzie
there's a tap there, and they're both round.
And they've clipped each
Isaac
other.
Nilsson has made the most of that situation. Ooh, was Diego just about misses.
And Diego puts it over. The team is also putting it up to PA. Diego up to P7 after that collision.
Yes, as we quickly go to the fight for the final podium position, Cadillac Crafter made his way past Brendan Pierce, and Eric Neath actually might, in a lap or two, be looking at a move past him. Brendan Pierce has just seemed to have lost a little bit of pace, the drivers around him, as Thomas Kane has made some sort of mistake and is off. But now he's back to racing, but Brendan Pierce, who was having a good race, seems to be struggling a little bit now, just sort of paces a little bit off the drivers around him, and he's not quite able to close up on Cadillac.
Yeah, for sure, and you have to remember...
With Eric Neath is round.
Ooh! That pretty much solid. I think that pretty much solidifies his position in P5 then, I think, for the Grand Prix.
As the
debut, nevertheless, though, I'm pretty sure it's his debut race in the Formula Grand Prix series.
Was Nassim is round again. Is this...
Nassim is just... The car has taken too much damage and he has retired the car.
He was struggling with the setup, it seems, or maybe too many taps from the rear had damaged the aero, and he was round. But anyway, on to Lozzie, who has had quite an eventful race, I'd say.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, where did Lozzie start? I can't remember.
Lozzie was, I think, just barely inside the top 10, and he's still there, so... Not much progress. Actually, we can check with the progress bar to see...
Look at Diego.
Where the drivers are right now.
Yeah, as Isaac Nilsson made the
Nilsson actually the person gained the most positions. He didn't qualify up P6 just quietly. Goose one position, Phoenix down one position.
I think
Brandon up two positions, up to Brandon.
I think Nilsson was one of the drivers that might have. Oh, as Jason has left the race. Jason is left.
Is also retired.
Oh, it's gonna hurt his championship fight.
And my heart is broken in pieces. Very much so. That's Diego Rosado here. He's on his merry way to getting past Isaac Nilsson.
As we look at the gaps between the drivers. Oh, is that my internet going a little bit there, or
I think that might
the
have been,
drivers?
yeah.
Because I think multiple drivers went a little bit there.
Yep.
As we look to Eric Neath, who's I think now just gonna have quite a quiet race. As you can see on the map on your top right, is not very close to many drivers, so
He's
I
pretty much alone.
think it's
He's
just
pretty much just gonna hold out these last few laps and pray something happens.
pray for a safety car.
Yep.
As Phoenix now has closed and is closing the gap. He is about half a second faster, a lap faster than Goose van Dormelen, but can he close the gap enough to get past? I think he's going to have to hope for a back marker.
Lap traffic, I think, will be a factor in this race.
Gonna have to see. Basically, Lozzie is now P8 and is a lapped driver, as Goose van Dormelen and Fulvia Phoenix are just pushing each other to see who can set the faster lap, as Phoenix is now within half a second of van Dormelen almost.
Yep, I think Phoenix, I mean, he's got, well, about to cross the line 4 laps to get this move done, and get this move done. Is he gonna go into turn 1? No, he's not close enough.
Quite close enough. But again, he was about 5/10 faster there. Just to prove his pace. And I think the slipstream may be helping him a bit, but not a huge amount. Because of how streamlined these cars are, I'm not sure the slipstream would have as big of an effect as it would with a car with a large rear wing like last year's or next year's car.
Yeah, for sure, but Fulvia Phoenix is nearly within slipstream range, and they're pretty much trading laps right now. I think Phoenix just needs to get... He needs one mistake from Goose to capitalize. Even if it's a small mistake, Phoenix will catch on to the mistake, send it out inside, dunk lane.
Well, that final sort of 2-3 corners seems to be where Phoenix can gain a lot on Goose, but then he loses it again coming through 22 and 23. Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be one hell of a push for the race. They're basically playing surgical. They're basically doing psychological.
Yeah, at this point, because of how close their pace are, it's just psychological mind games. Sort of looking at places where you shouldn't look.
But lucky to save the 1-2 within 2 turns there. Phoenix!
Oh, Phoenix taps Goose.
He puts him off, but no, he has decided to give the place back. That was really like very big climax into this race. I had a spicy feeling he was gonna send you the hairpin, but he did, and he didn't get the move cleanly.
This is the fight
and he let him go.
This is the fight between first and third in the championship. So after this race, it will be a very close fight for Goose to getting P2 in the championship, and Phoenix will have wouldn't have lost anything to Jason, but Goose may be able to claw back from Phoenix's lead, and you never know, maybe if Phoenix can't quite get wins every race, and Goose is able to keep his lead and sort of work on his lead every race, maybe we'll have a new championship winner.
Maybe,
But
maybe.
unlike in real life, this championship will not be decided for a very long time.
You remember, it's your best 16 races that count in this 2022
Oh yes, because
race season.
lots of drivers are now getting to that 16th race, and so it's just sort of getting the wins and building up the most points and sort of making up for the races that you either missed or didn't quite score enough points in. As Brendan Pierce is spun, but he has kept his P4, but that may be it for him. He's probably going to fight with Eric Neath for P5 now. But as we go back to the fight with the front two, multiple back markers now are very close, as that is Isaac Nilsson, who is moving to the left side of the track, as Phoenix just gets a little bit squirmy on the exit corner there and loses a little bit of time.
I think this might be game over now. I think Phoenix, can edge out Goose enough. Even if he's going full send. I mean, he's absolutely sending it right now. He doesn't give a fuck about the tires, no anything. Sorry for the language.
It is the final lap of the race now. Phoenix was 2 tenths faster on last lap, and they collide! Oh, there's a big crash. There's a lot of contact there now, side by side.
Banging wheels, this is lovely.
Oh, this is the racing we want to see. They are side by side. Phoenix is now leading the race, but Goose does have the slipstream now. Looks to the outside, can't quite make it. As Phoenix slides a bit, and Goose. Goose puts Phoenix in the wall. Phoenix. I think that decides our race.
Phoenix got the chicane.
Oh! He hits him! Can Cadillac Crafter? No, he's too far behind, but... Oh, the revenge.
This is something you would expect in Formula E, not Formula Student Grand Prix racing. What was that move from Fulvio Phoenix? I think that would definitely be I would personally say that's a disqualification of Phoenix. That is unacceptable. But Goose Verdommelen wins the first Grand Prix of this year's season, I believe. His first Grand Prix this season. Ahead of Fulvio Phoenix.
Is this his first win?
I believe so.
No, this would be his 5th win. So he's still 1 win behind Jason and Phoenix, but...
Well, his first win in the new gen car.
First win in the new gen car, I think, yes.
As Cadillac Crafter goes P3. And
we're now watching the racing for P5 here. Can Diego get P5, or is it left for Isaac? As there's about 3 tenths between them.
I don't think that's enough momentum to launch anywhere, unfortunately.
Final corners. Diego seems to be struggling in that final sector there, and the gap goes from 3 tenths to 9 tenths. And Brendan Pierce in the pit lane in P9.
Not sure why he's in the pit lane. Did he... what happened? Why is he P9 all of a sudden?
Oh, did he spin maybe? Anyway, on to the trophy. We have Goose van Dormelen, our winner for today. Fulvio Phoenix, our 2nd place. And Cadillac Crafter taking the 3rd and final podium position, which for lots of the race was very closely fought between Goose and... Well, not Goose, between Cadillac and Brendan Pierce and Isaac Neath, or Eric Neath, pushing for P4 and getting close to P3 sometimes. But after that race, which was extremely hectic, we now have the final positions, which is Goose van Dormelen winning, Phoenix in 2nd place, but I don't think, no matter the penalty, I think it will still be 2nd place for him, unless it's like 15 or 20 seconds.
Yep.
But I think because it didn't affect their race too much, because neither of them lost position extremely. We'll have to see on the penalty for that, as that may or may not be going to race directors.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, at the end there you had how did that race go? You had Jason fighting and then losing it lap 1 and just having to try and fight his way up and struggling. And you had Nassim, who is very much up and down the grid, sort of working his way up to 3rd or 4th. Brendan. Okay, I figured out what happened with Brendan. He races in a VR headset and it disconnected on the last lap, which put him into the pit lane. So Brendan Pierce, who was on for a 4th place today, due to being too technologically advanced, him racing in VR on these online races, he was no longer able to see where he was racing and ended up in the pit lane, which is very sad to see, because he is a very fast, very talented driver who should have done a lot better.
Yep. So that was a Grand Prix and a half. Was it the best of the season?
I wouldn't say best of the season. I can't quite remember most of the races, but you never know. That was definitely a good race. I think depending on the driver, depends if you'd call that a good race or not. There was a lot of racing, but the amount that was clean. Because I'd say for it to be a good race, you'd need a lot of clean racing and a fair win. But at the end, it got a little bit messy between the front runners, and I feel bad for drivers who would be front runners who just struggled a little bit today.
Yep. Well, Ethan, sorry, my brother, but I'm actually gonna have to go. I will let you do the intro this time yourself.
How
I
fun.
usually do them myself, but I'll give you the opportunity to commentate. And I'm unfortunately gonna have to head out. Ethan, you pick the 3 drivers you wanna have a conversation with.
Yeah, I'll go for.
I will unfortunately be going.
Please
So
no.
before I go, I wanna say thank you for Omnisphere Grand Prix for hosting this event.
Mhm.
And I hope that we'll be seeing each other next time. I believe in 2 weeks' time or 1 week's time.
Ooh.
Thank you for joining. I don't know. Sorry for
Bye.
coming in. I just wanted to say hi.
Yep.
I'm the other way.
And that'll be goodbye from me. So, see ya, everybody watching. Have fun.
Goodbye, Ben. Hello, Diego.
Goodbye, Ben. Hello. How did the stream go?
It's going well. We are still live.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
No,
So hi to everyone on Twitch.
It
Yeah.
went well.
How was the race for you guys?
Yeah, you had Nassim, who was very much up and down the grid. Sort of, he didn't set a qualifying lap, so he started at the back of the grid, but
Yeah.
then sort of worked his way up, and then due to lag or struggling with the car, he sort of slipped down and then worked his way up and slipped down. And in the end, he just didn't want to race. Do you remember who was 3rd place? I've forgotten. Was it Cadillac?
3rd place. Maybe, I'm not sure. Hold up. Let me check on SGP. Let me check real
Yeah, there we
fast. I
are.
think the results should be up already. So
As long as everyone's left the session, I think it would be up. Yep,
yeah,
there we are.
it should be.
So Cadillac there.
Results. Okay, so we have Goose first, Fulvius second, Cadillac third.
Eric Neath in 4th,
Neath.
Isaac in
think he-
5th, and you were in
Is this his first
6th
race?
place. I am not sure. Let me check to see
Yeah,
if he
first
has.
race with us, P5. That's really good.
Oh, that was very good.
Really strong.
Well, no, he did. He would have done GPK Spa, but he didn't race.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
I think I think he raced a while ago, but this is his first actual championship race. So yeah, it's a good finish for his first race in this league. And then Diego, how about we go over your race? Actually, how do you feel the race went for you? This being like
Well,
one of your first races in a
this
while.
this is my first FSGP race this year. That's how busy I've been.
Oh my.
It's definitely been quite a a year. But it was really fun. Like I was surprised on lap one. Like I saw one incident, but it was very clean. And then on turn seven, I had an incident with Nassim. But it looks like it was lag. I was on the outside, he was on the inside, and suddenly
Mm,
I was on the runoff area. So a bit unfortunate there. And at that point, it was basically just catching up and trying to make my way through the field. But I had some fun battles.
mm,
And then at the end, I was with Isaac, with Isaac Nilsson, I believe. And I was too scared to attack because I was lagging a little bit and I didn't want to dive and cause an accident. So I tried a couple of moves, but I was too scared to try anything crazy. So, but it was really fun. Like I had a few chances, but he defended really well. He was backing up on the apexes, so I couldn't get a better run, which
mm.
was really fun to see. It was definitely crazy.
So without saying yourself, who would you say is your driver of the day today?
Oh, I mean, I didn't watch the race. I can't judge too much. From my perspective, I don't know. I would say I would say Goose, but at the same time, we don't know what happened at the end of the race. So,
Mm.
um, I will wait until I watch the race
Yeah,
to
okay.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
yes.
yeah.
So after that race, the championship standings after that race is Fulvio Phoenix is still leading the championship on 324 points. But drivers are starting to
Oh,
hit,
interesting.
the drivers at the front are starting to hit those 16 races now. So it's just sort of getting the best finishes and beating your worst finishes from the past 16 races just to gain more points, because it's the top 16
Yeah.
races that affect your championship, not all of them. So after that, you
Yeah.
have Phoenix in first. Goose van Dormelen has made his way up to second and is now 10 points ahead of Jason,
Yeah. It's
which... Mm,
I think Jason, he's got a good shot because he's really catching up with this car. He still have 5 races to catch up,
mm,
and I think he will be able to get a few results, like improve a few results. And yeah, I think Abu Dhabi is gonna be very tight.
yeah, 'cause
Let
I
me tell
think
you that.
hopefully it will be even closer than it is now between the top three, let alone just Goose and Phoenix. Because Goose and Phoenix have sort of always been at
Yeah,
the top. We've known him to be at the top for a while.
yeah. I think Jason, like, he definitely seems to adapt to the MFT1 a lot better.
Mm.
And he's there. Even if today wasn't his best race, I think he will have a good shot.
Anyway,
And Goose and Fulvio seem to be paired with pace again, so yeah, really fun.
as
Oh, Jesus,
we are now going to go to the interview area to talk to the
that's
top
bad.
drivers.
I'm gonna join there.
Sorry, I missed
Hello,
that.
drivers.
Ja, ik bedoel, ja.
You're all on stream now.
Zijn skillprobleem.
So we're going to start with Goose. How do you feel that race went for you?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy because yeah, I won the race obviously, but yeah, it was just a bit of a shame in the last 3-4 laps. There were some incidents between me and Phoenix, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was just a bit a shame, but yeah, in the end, I won the race. and he lost a bit control. So yeah, I'm pretty happy because I didn't think I would win this race in the beginning of starting practice, and definitely not after qualifying because I was just way too slow. And
Yeah.
during race also, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
We're not sure what happened with Phoenix. It was sort of like just as we swapped him, he spun on the bridge. So I'm not sure if it was a back marker he hit or just a mistake himself. But I think after he made his mistake, you were about 5 seconds ahead, and he was just sort of pushed and closed the gap, and then that was how the race finished. He was second, you were first. Do you have, if you want, would you like to go over any of the incidents in the race, or should we just say who do you think your driver of the day is?
Well, I want to go over one thing. Like, I don't know if it was a back marker or if he just made a mistake at the bridge, as you said. But yeah, in the end, he just closed the gap. I don't know if that was on the stream, but he made some overtaking attempts. And yeah, I just closed the door on the first overtaking attempt. That was over the bridge at the hairpin. So, and then yeah, he just hit me not really hard. That was yeah, there was no problem there, I think. After that, going into the last lap, I felt just like just like the hand gloves were off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like going into, I think turn 3 it was, yeah. And then he just hit me in the back under braking. So I just clipped the outside wall. Then he overtook me.
Yeah.
So that was not really fair, I believe. And then after that, I just did the same to him at, I don't know, turn 8 or so, I think.
I think it was turn 8. He sort of just cut the chicane and hit you because I'm guessing he was annoyed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think that was
Yeah,
on the last
yeah.
lap. So I think you like just in a racing fashion, you slightly closed the door a little bit, but nothing too audacious. And then he
Oh, okay.
he has gotten a bit annoyed and completely cut the chicane.
Okay, okay, okay.
Going into
I
turn
understand well.
going into
Okay.
the hairpin after the bridge.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that
Yeah,
final lap
A
was
nice.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So now moving away from the race a little bit, since tensions seem to be so high. What are your thoughts on the car now that we have had a race? What do you think about the new spec and how the racing went?
I think it's a pretty awesome car. It drives very well, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's more raceable, if you know what I mean. It's like pretty DRS, and you couldn't
Yeah.
really slipstream over the straights, and now it's way easier to overtake. So yeah, I think that's a great win. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about the new car.
Awesome. Awesome to hear. Yeah, I think that's all for you. Thank you for the interview. And yeah,
Yeah.
good luck for Suzuka.
Goose, quickly before
Yeah.
you go, who would you say,
Thank you.
without saying yourself, who's your driver for today?
Ooh, I don't know.
Samey.
Mij.
I think it's Jago, I believe, driver.
Definitely not biased. No, just kidding.
Have a nice evening. Cheers.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Goose. As we now move to Cadillac Crafter, our third place man.
I think someone disagrees with my statement that I should be driver of the day. Cadillac, what do you have to say about that?
Oh, I'm just better. I mean,
The skill issue.
one of us has a podium and one doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah. That is a good point. That is a good point. Yeah,
Anyway,
how
Cadillac
was your
have-
race? How did it go?
Pretty uneventful, to be honest. Like, I think lap 5 or something, I had a crash with Eric. I have no idea what happened. I just spun all of a sudden. But then then Brendan overtook me, and then 10 laps later I overtook him, and that pretty much was the end.
Yeah, once you got past Brendan, he just sort of didn't quite have the pace, and then I think Eric crashed about 5 laps after you passed Brendan, and he just left the race after that.
Oh, he left?
I'm not sure if he left or he just wasn't able to close the gap as much.
Alright.
Yeah,
That was also a bit unfortunate for Brendan, because like the last lap I saw he was in the wall. And then later I just I found out that it was just because his headset turned off. So, I mean, it's pretty shit for him on the last lap.
the future man. It's unreliable. Kind of like Ferrari engines.
Absolutely.
But anyway, how do you...
The factory.
Yeah.
Now we'll move on to Brendan once we finish with Cadillac, so he can tell us about the VR exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cadillac. Without saying yourself, who would you say is your driver of the day?
Probably Goose.
Okay.
Yeah,
He won. I don't know if he won fairly, but it was still fast enough.
I think
absolutely.
sort of at the end of the race, it was just close racing. That's all we'll say for now.
Yeah.
Also just a bit biased because he's Dutch, but
Super Max. Well, Super Goose here. Yeah, how do you feel about the new spec of car and this race?
like I've gotta say, before this like new car, I was pretty much like fully against removing the DRS because I thought like, oh, if you remove the DRS, then that pretty much takes all the fun out of it. But after driving a race with it, I actually think it's better because there's just more grip everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, also don't have issues where DRS just randomly turns off. So that's a huge bonus.
Absolutely.
Good to hear. So now, moving on to Brendan. How do you feel the race went for you, Brendan?
Well, I'm currently looking at new cables for my VR headset, so there's that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It was, yeah, it was going all right. I was struggling with the car the whole freaking time. Oh my god, my arms were like I was gripping the wheel like crazy because I had like zero confidence in my setup for this race. It was sketchy every time I hit a bump, and it was tough to even keep from. I spun once towards the end before the catastrophe that I had to experience, and it was just
Out of all the tracks to have a bump scared setup, Singapore is definitely not one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was working out when I was practicing, but then in the race conditions, it's like, oh yeah, you're 2 seconds slower here now, and everything feels wrong.
Because I think the track was just a lot hotter than people were expecting.
I mean, my tires weren't much warmer than they were normally. Like they were like only like upper 70s or whatever in temperature.
Yeah, but
so it wasn't
when we were looking
terrible.
at the track temperature throughout the race, it was about 35, 36 degrees. So compared to most tracks, it was very warm, and sort of the humidity wasn't quite there, keeping the track
But it was
cooler.
squirrely as heck out.
Yeah, we saw that with a lot of drivers actually. They were struggling with traction, or that might be in real life racing.
Absolutely. But yeah, Brendan. So, like, what is the company that makes your VR set? Just to know.
I've got the Meta Quest 2.
Yeah.
And I've just got a cable
in
that
that-
connects to the PC.
There's the difference between us. I just use
in that
Airlink, which is
case,
so much worse.
Are you gonna tell Max Zuckerberg that their VR set suck and that they should
It's
review
just
their
cable, honestly.
VR set? Their
My cable's been
cables?
flaking out for a while. I got like a third-party one or whatever. I've noticed in the past couple of races, like after an extended session, it'll like flicker black
Yeah.
for like a second, and I'll be like, no, don't do that.
Mm.
But this is the first time it's actually cut out mid race. I haven't had that issue since I had my Quest, since I had the Oculus Rift S. That thing was buggy as crap.
Have you ever tried using the AirLink feature?
The what now?
The AirLink feature where you connect wirelessly.
Oh, I have,
It's
yes, but I don't
jank as hell.
trust it enough to do a race online.
Because at least with me, because I also do race in VR sometimes, after about an hour or so of being in the VR, the connection will slow down significantly, and like it will just be 4 FPS.
I mean, my router's right next to me, and I live alone, so there wouldn't be much interference, I don't think.
Might
but
be a bit better for you.
I wouldn't trust it. I would just use a cable. It reaches.
Yeah. Anyway, who would you say is your driver of the day without saying yourself?
Oh, well, obviously I wouldn't say myself, but crap, I don't know. I heard there's controversy at the front. I was like, I don't know. Cadillac was doing a good job. I mean, I couldn't keep up with him. I got past him simply because he crashed. I took advantage of a few incidents, and then, well, my pace wasn't enough to maintain that. So I suppose I would give it to Cadillac for being much more consistent than me.
So that will be it for today's stream. Thank you all the drivers for joining us for the interviews, and thank you all the viewers for watching. This has been Formula Student Singapore Grand Prix. I am Ethan. Your other main commentator was Van, and the race organizer, as he is here, is Diego.
Hello. Yeah. I just got in on the commentary booth, I think. Like, I just snuck in.
This is like Ross Braun walking in.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I made the car, so I have some privileges. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed it, and see you in Suzuka. It will take place most likely in 2 weeks. The track is not ready yet, and we want to make it as good as possible, so a bit different to usual, but it's worth to wait.
So are we going to have a replacement race next week, or just no race?
It will be a race outside FSGP, so it will be just like a one-off event outside points, no points in play, just for fun.
So we will see you in 2 weeks for the Formula Students Suzuka Grand Prix. Thank you all for watching, and have a good evening.